Today we're going to make a light up pumpkin with Halloween cutouts from Dollar Tree. I'm Brandy and this is Making It My Own. Welcome. We're going to use some blocks. Any kind that you have will work. We're going to use antiquing wax, some orange paint. I've chosen chalk paint, of course, just because I have it. I'm going to use Mod Podge. I started off with a large brush, but I'm going to downsize that, so no worries. You can use any type of ribbon from Dollar Tree or Thrifted or Amazon or TEMU or Michael's or Hobby Lobby, wherever you get yours from. I get a lot of things thrifting. You just choose what you think is going to work with your theme. I'll use 4 pieces of cellophane paper. This is out of the same pack we used for the glass bottle that we did, the stain bottle. We're going to use 2 of these from Dollar Tree. Same size. They are the larger ones. And then we're also going to use some yellow chalk paint. You'll need string lights if you want your piece to be more narrow, or you can use a larger votive, fake candle if you choose to use that. These are the ones I got from Dollar Tree. I have found several of these in their little candle section, and they're nice. I can't complain. You can also use some like this, and so I've chosen to use these. It has to be the same as the size of your supports or smaller to make this work, okay? We're going to cut off our tags and our hangers. We won't need them. Flip the top one over so they are opposite of one another. And this is going to be the middle of our pumpkin light or our jack-o'-lantern light. I'm going to mix up my paint and then start putting this down on the inside. If you have acrylic paint, that'll work too. I like to use chalk paint because it dries quickly and gives a good coverage. So it's a preference, just whichever way you want to do it, it's totally fine. I'll go all the way up to the stem, and then I'll do the same thing on the other one, and then give it a dry. You can put yours in front of a fan if you want to. You can sit it out in the sun, or you can just leave it to dry while you go on and do something else. Okay, then we'll flip both of those over, and you can see their mirror image. That's important. And we're going to do what will be the outside of our jack-o'-lantern. And I have chosen this pumpkin orange chalk paint. I love this color orange. I have a coffee mug I got from Dollar Tree a few years ago in this color, and I love it. All right, once everything is dry, we're going to decide where we want to put our supports. This is what's going to hold the 2 pieces off of one another and allow us to put the lights on the inside. Okay, and let it be freestanding. All right, so I've got my blocks from Dollar Tree, and you can use whatever size blocks or supports that you want to use. If you want to make your piece a little more narrow than mine will be, then you'll want to use something thinner, like maybe one of those little building blocks from Dollar Tree. I think like the fake Jenga blocks, whatever, or any type of little supports that you can put on the in-between that you can think of. I'll put my quick and thick down first. Takes longer for that to dry, and then I'll put my hot glue around it. Using 2 glues, I've been asked before, why do you use 2 of them? It's because it takes longer for that white glue that you see to dry, and I need things to dry quickly so I can continue with my projects and get them out on time for y'all, right? Okay, so I found some of these candles. They change colors. I don't exactly remember where I got them from, but if you want to use multicolors, you can, and just use clear over the eyes instead of yellow. I wanted to go ahead and use this yellow, so, painting the inside of it yellow might not have been necessary, but for me, it makes it a complete project, right? Now I'm going to put a thin layer of this Mod Podge around on here. Perhaps school glue would work for this, and you might even be able to use like a glue stick for this. It's totally up to you. You need to be very careful that you do not get your Mod Podge on the inside of the cutouts, and you don't want to get your Mod Podge anywhere on that cellophane where it does not connect to the pumpkin, because if you do that, you're going to have like a hazy finish over there. So rather than it looking clear or like glass or like just a yellow light shining through there, you're going to see like a haziness, and it is going to let everybody know that you did this at home, And that's fine, right? But we strive to have things that look high end and for people to say, oh, wow, where'd you get that? I mean, doesn't it make you feel good when you do a project and people are just kind of blown away with it? Of course. I would love it if you're new here at my channel, if you would subscribe and become one of my members. I am working very hard on coming up to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot wait. I know it's coming, and I know I need to be patient, but I know that it is coming, and it just means so much to me that many people find me interesting. You know, it's just it's a humbling experience. Okay, so then we'll continue around and we'll do the next one. If you have overhangs, then you can fix that. You can cut it. I'm just using a little blade here that I have, and be very careful. Don't cut yourself. And just cut those pieces off, and those can be used for patching or whatever. If you leave these overlapped, it's going to be darker in some areas than others. So if you want a continuous color in each one of those little cutouts, then you're going to need to make sure that they're only covered once. I hope that made sense to you. Don't double up. Then after I get those in place and I'm happy with them and they're trimmed up, I'm going to go back over and just seal them in with a little bit of Mod Podge so this doesn't catch on anything while we're crafting and it doesn't peel up and peel away. You can see that Quick and Thick is sitting on the top of each one of those blocks. That is how long you can leave this stuff. I mean, it takes a while for Quick and Thick to dry. That's why it's important to use that hot glue on there too, so that it will grab and give that a chance to dry. Okay, so now we're working on the other side. And it's a little easier because we haven't got our supports on yet. Now, if you want to do yours like this rather than putting the supports on and then doing it, it's totally up to you. When you come to my channel, I have to remind people that I don't always start off with an exact plan of what I'm doing. I start crafting and then I just go with it. If something strikes me, oh, go get such and such and put on here, then I'm going to go and get it and put it on there. So I might not show it to you initially, but I will be adding it at some point. You know how we work as crafters. I don't do the whole detailed outline and then put it together. I just kind of draw it out, what I have in my mind that I want to do. I make notes, and then I grab the initial pieces that I need to get started. And that's how I do it. Okay, now it's easy enough while your Mod Podge is wet. If you do have a little accident, you can just wipe that off really gently by supporting the back. All right, so now we've got those glued back together. You saw how I glue the other ones, and now I'm going to show you a technique that I like to use to give definition to my wood cutouts and what I'm drawing and painting. This is a little bit of antiquing wax. I have it on just a water baby wipe. I buy cases of those and I keep them in my craft room. I'm going to show you also how to fix that mistake. You see that right there? That's not in the right line, but I'm going to show you what you can do if you do that. Now this is wax being applied by something that is damp, so it is still kind of movable, and it's easy to fix my mistakes. I'm going to go around the outside edges as well and do some shading. And then you'll be able to see as I go along here, and I'm going to skip sections and show you some of it. You'll see in the process how much it is going to change. I am trying to round out any areas that are super sharp looking or squared off because that's not realistic when we are cutting out a jack-o'-lantern. They're kind of rounded a little bit. At least the ones I do. Now, it could just be that I don't know how to cut out a jack-o'-lantern. There's a good possibility. But as you can see, though, this is giving it some depth and some dimension. We'll go around the eyes, we'll go around the nose, and then that's when I decided to go ahead and just use the wax a little bit heavier and put that on the stem. Okay, go in that nose right there. Yes, I'm digging in the nose. I've got a tissue and I'm digging in the nose. Go around there, dot it, kind of blur it out a little bit. You can see my mistake is still on the bottom. It's still there. With this antiquing wax, I love that it is buildable. And I'm going to keep building it up a little at a time as I go. Keep looking at it from all the directions and keep building it. Keep giving it depth. Keep giving it more and more roundness by kind of curving my lines. And you can see me use the wet part to kind of blend it out a little bit. I'm going to go around the bottom, make that a little bit more. All you have to do if you make a mistake with your antiquing wax and you're using it on a wipe like this is just to get a clean wipe and go over the mistake and just kind of buff it out. And then if you need to, after it dries, you can add another layer of paint on top of it. And that'll erase it. That'll cover it right up. So now we're going to go around to the back side, and I'm going to give it just a tiny bit different of a look on the back side. A little bit heavier handed, just to show you the difference that it will make. You see how I'm pushing that wax up and kind of following and like making a curve? Look at that. It looks like it's cut with curves in it. And it's all just the way that you move your hand and the way you move that wax around, and having it on a damp cloth like that really, 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 really has helped me transform a lot of the pieces that I do. So I hope that it is helpful for you as well. So we're just going to keep along on this side. I mean, you want this to be able to be nice and cute from both sides. Be sure that people always tell me what these things are on the pumpkins, bumps on the pumpkins, or the little raised areas on the pumpkins. I get it wrong every time. Yeah, I forget every single time. I'm going to have to put it on a sticky note. But yeah, they look like they're rounded, and that's how they are. You know, that's how they can be on pumpkins, right? The little ribs. Okay, so that is done, and our wax is dried. Dries fairly quickly. Decided I'm going to use some of this fabric that I absolutely love. I found it while I was out thrifting, and then y'all, would you believe I found a roll of it at Dollar Tree? I did. The little roll, I found a little roll of it. So you can, well, possibly find it at your stores. I know I'm going to use this as like an edge that goes all the way around my pumpkin. We've got to have supports that are going to be areas where we glue that fabric down to the inside of the pumpkin. So I'm using these little blocks that you can get in a pack at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to put them close to the edge, not extending over the edge, because I want to be able to place a little bit of glue down and then put that on top. If you're using a ribbon, same thing. Just make sure that if your ribbon is too wide, that you either tuck the edge under and glue it, or that you trim it down to the right size. And that way you won't have any overhang and it look kind of messy. So I'm just kind of rotating side to side. You can do this all the way around. You can put an edge all the way around. It's totally up to you. If you have another way that you want to do this to glue your pieces in, you can do that too. A lot of options, people, a lot of options. Now this is why it was important that the supports and the candles are the same size, because all I'm doing is putting these candles in with double stick tape right next to those bottom layer little support pieces. And so I have room to slide them in there, right? And that's important. Okay, so now our candles are in place. Always check those candles too first, y'all. Make sure you check them and make sure that they are working before you are putting them in your project, so you don't have to run back to the store and get a replacement. Now, I am going to do this in two sections. I've got this longer piece here. No, I did not measure. It's going to go slightly to where my candles are, like halfway over my candles. And then I cut another piece that will go over that. The idea is just to sort of hide the bottom of it. And you don't want to see the inside of this either. So putting that fabric there makes this like just like the little freestanding, I don't know, I think it's cute. I don't even know what you would call this. What would you call this thing? It's just a jack-o'-lantern. It's a light-up jack-o'-lantern, right? If you want to go over your stems, you can do that too, but I'm just going to glue my stems together with a block in the middle after a while, and you will see that, but I don't think I'll actually show you the process. So we're going to glue it down, and then I'm going to take my edges and roll them under. And almost like when you're put seam in something, you know, you roll your edges under. I will be rolling those under and tucking those on the inside too. So you see you don't want to glue that on your light. Leave it where it's open. And continue around on the other side until you get back to the other light or candle. Those will be tucked. Nobody panic. This is just my initial go around here. Nobody panic. It's going to be okay. I'm going to tuck it. It's going to be nice and neat. Okay, so now we're back to the original part. I'm rolling, tucking, and then any place I need to add a little bit of extra glue, I just add a dot of glue to hold that in place. On the bottom, I will go over my supported areas and leave it open where I can get to my candle lights. Now, when I show you this in the end, I'm going to show you how you can display this where you won't even see any of your hardware. So if you want to skip on the bottom part and not put it on there and you just want to do the sides up to where you put your candles, then I'm going to show you how you can do that and it won't be a problem at all. We need to be able to get to the light switches that are on these candles. So we have to have some way to have it accessible, right? So part of this will be glued right to the candle itself. And with it being hot glue, you know, it can pop off and I can take these out and use them again for another purpose. You can see there's a block up there where the stem is on the side. I glued that in, held it with clamps until it was completely glued in place. And then I took a handful of raffia, 2 brown, 2 orange, and 2 yellow. I cut them in 18-inch pieces, and I'm just going to tie those in a double knot right at the top of the pumpkin. And you can see I put my lights on to test them out and see how everything was looking. There's my little square knot or my double knot. And then here's where, if you want to make a bow for yours, you could do a bow. If you want to leave it just stringy like this, go ahead. I'm going to trim mine up just a little bit. It's in a couple of areas. It just looked a little bit too long for what I was doing, but it's easier to trim off than put something back on, right? Okay, so now you can kind of, this is sort of almost like the little skirts that you get from Dollar Tree, the hula skirts, you know? These are little pieces that I got from TEMU. I ordered them a couple of years ago. I think I should have links somewhere. So these are really good to use as extra little embellishments. I love the cat with the pumpkin. So we are going to put that baby right there on where we tied it. And then this is what it's going to look like when the lights are out and the pumpkin is glowing. Oh my goodness, I love this. I love to be able to bring y'all things like this. Look how cheap it was to make it, right? 1 double pack of candles, 2 of these little jack-o'-lanterns, and then you most likely already had everything else. And if you don't have the little raffia, just use ribbons or just leave it alone. You don't have to put anything up there if you don't want to. It's totally up to you. And you can run that ribbon all the way across the top too, so that that is not open. If you can help me get to 100,000 subscribers, you just don't even know how much that means to me. I appreciate it so, so, so very much. Subscribe to the channel, give me a comment, and then check out this video below for more Halloween.